I really fell into user experience. I didn't start out there. I started out as a research analyst at a place called Stanford Research Institute doing classified work. And I was lucky enough to work on a project there with some artificial intelligence engineers and ended up helping them design a system because I was going to be the one using it. And I really just fell in love with the process, and that started off my career where I went through into a series of companies, went through a series of jobs, went to Nortel where they had a 200-person design group so I could learn from them, ended up going back to school for a master's. So it really came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know anything about it when I was in school. I just totally fell in love with it, and I'm so glad I did. What I usually say to people is that I represent you. I represent you as the user in a process that's mostly done by technology people, by engineers who have most of their attention on how things get coded, how fast it is to develop things and things like that. And you need someone in that process who will both understand what the user is trying to do, understand who the user is, and the environment they work in, and create something for them to interact with that speaks to them in their language, in the way they do their work, so that the technology is subservient to what the user needs. I'm a big believer in multidisciplinary kind of fodder for technology work, and by that I mean I went through and did a master's in liberal arts, and so I find one of the most useful things to help me remain creative is to get exposure to other fields. The conferences I go to tend to be more general conferences than specifically user interface or user experience conferences. I like to go to conferences where there's architects and other kinds of disciplines that deal with users, but from a completely different point of view. And so to me, the whole multidisciplinary approach means that you have a whole different kind of library of techniques and ways of thinking to draw on when you're facing your own problems than if you just limited yourself to user experience.